Hi guys, a few days ago I saw the fifth and latest Indiana Jones movie, so what better time to rank them all, from the worst to the best. This is a special series for me, one of my favorites of all time. I love the sense of adventure and mystery, the action sequences, Harrison Ford's iconic portrayal of the main character, and of course John Williams' score. I guess my ranking can be a bit surprising, although I think most people will agree with my least favorite pick. So let's take a look. Number 5. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yes, in fifth and last place, maybe as expected, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Actually, I think this movie has some good moments, especially in the first half. I like the opening scene with the teenagers listening to Elvis Hound Dog while driving recklessly. It immediately sets the 50s tone. The following Area 51 part is also good, despite the infamous nuke fridge ending. The car and bike chase after the cafe is classic indie and very entertaining, probably the best scene in the entire movie. But then it kind of falls apart, there's too much CGI and generally bad ideas, like the vine swinging with monkeys. Who came up with that idea? Some of the acting and emotions also feel forced and not believable. Add to that some bad characters and a mediocre villain. The ending with the aliens and spaceship, however, is fine for me. I get the criticism, but it's kind of fitting and certainly different. So overall, clearly the weakest movie of the franchise, but not entirely bad. Okay, number 4. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. In this latest entry we see a different and older Indy going through a rough spot, and that's kinda interesting and something new. But it begins with a de-aged Harrison Ford as a younger Indy in his prime, fighting Nazis. It works surprisingly well and is a welcome throwback to earlier movies. Then a switch to 1969 and the old and grumpy hero gets thrown into a new adventure with his goddaughter Helena. She is initially deceptive and a bit annoying, but thankfully redeems herself later on. The acting is very good, especially by Ford, who delivers some truly heartfelt moments. The CGI is noticeable at times, but not too distracting. The chase scenes are exciting, and I love the small mentions of previous adventures. Mads Mikkelsen's main villain is very good as expected. And thankfully, it sticks the landing with a sweet final scene that's emotional and a proper send-off for the character. Number 3. Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is the one that started it all. Considered by many to be the best Indiana Jones movie, and it's great, no doubt, just not my favorite. The casting of Harrison Ford turned out to be a genius move, and the opening jungle scene is a perfect introduction to the character. It's suspenseful and well directed, with the spiders, traps, the idle switch with the sandbag, and the following iconic boulder chase. It's simply brilliant and maybe the best scene of the entire series. For me, the rest of the movie isn't quite on that level though. I mean, it's still very entertaining with the truck chase and the snake escape, but maybe it's the lack of location variety or the mediocre villain Belloc that nudges it down a bit for me. But the Nazis are good, especially the creepy Gestapo one, and Indy shooting the swordsman is still hilarious. And the ending with the melting faces is hard to forget. So, it's a classic for a reason, just not my top pick. Okay, number 2. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Now, this was my favorite Indy movie for a long time growing up. Maybe because of the mid-80s vibe, the natural chemistry between Short Round and Indy, some fantastic action scenes, and possibly the best villain of the franchise. I understand why many think Willie is an annoying character, but she doesn't bother me so much. But the middle part with the dark cult stuff goes on a bit too long and maybe too far as well. But before and after that, the movie is very entertaining. I really like the entire opening scene in the Chinese club, the following car chase and the plane escape. I like the dinner scene with the creepy food, and I just love the minecart chase and the rope bridge at the end. There's simply very much to like about this one. As mentioned, the Short Round is a charming and great sidekick to Indy. The main villain and other local actors adds authenticity to the movie. It's simply unique and very different from the others. At number 1, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. For me, this is the funniest and most consistent indie movie, without any weak spots. The casting of Sean Connery as Indy's dad is a fantastic addition. The chemistry and banter between the two leads are a delight throughout, also with some emotional moments, making their relationship very believable. The Nazis are back as great villains, and the Holy Grail is a well-chosen artifact to search for. The side character Marcus is unexpectedly funny, and the John Williams score is better than ever. There's a great opening scene with young Indy on a train, followed by a smooth transition to grown-up Indy. That's a nice touch. Another standout sequence is the motorbike chase after escaping a tied-up situation in a burning castle. And the entire finale is very well done, with the trials, meeting the old knight and having to find the right cup to save Indy's dad. And after doing so, letting go of the artifact is a brilliant scene. Riding off into the sunset was a fitting end to the original trilogy, and overall my number one pick, with a great story, great characters, action and humor.